Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host, Akhand Bharat. Today is Friday, the 2nd of June, 2023, and these are the stories that we will be discussing in detail in the course of the show. We will begin with the Akhand Bharat narrative, or the greater Indian narrative, as far as the current BJP government is concerned. Now, the current Indian government is trying different maneuvers, different machinations in order to highlight this initiative under the BJP. Our Foreign Office spokesperson in a briefing recently also talked about this Akhand Bharat, Greater India's, this whole ideology that is being propagated by the BJP, in which they have talked in, as an example, a mural that is depicting the so-called ancient India, including areas that now constitute parts of Pakistan and other countries, that now has been installed at the new Parliament building in New Delhi. Pakistan is not the only country that has objected to it. Nepal is also another country that has objected to this mural. But this is just one part of this whole Akhand Bharat, or Greater India ideology, that the BJP is propagating since quite some time. There are so many other elements that are equally questionable. We will be discussing that in detail in our first segment. Our second story, ladies and gentlemen, today concerns the US Senate, that on Thursday, that is yesterday, but of course with the 12 hours time it becomes more or less Friday, passed the bipartisan legislation backed by President Joe Biden that lifts the government's $31.4 trillion debt ceiling, averting what could have been the first ever default by the United States of America. It was already passed by the United Nations House of Representatives, but now it has also been passed by the Senate, and now of course the US has averted a huge crisis-like situation because of this default. We'll be discussing the different elements, why the US came to this and what the US will be doing. And then we'll be talking about Jordan's heir to the throne, who yesterday married into one of Saudi Arabia's prominent business families in a glitzy ceremony that was attended by international royals, head of state, and we also had a representative from Pakistan as well. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be talking about the Director General of the IAEA, Rafael Grossi, who has confirmed that Iran has made progress on certain issues regarding the P5+1 deal. So, of course, good news there as well. Maybe we'll be seeing more good news coming on that front in the coming days, and we'll be informing you on that. That was our last story. Let's begin with our first, and that concerns the Akhand Bharat, or a Greater India narrative of the BJP, that is now being propagated with a lot of questionable narratives. More in the following report.
India under Hindu nationalist BJP is dangerously flirting with expansionist designs which might imperil regional peace. Hindu nationalist ideologues have long relied on manufactured history to justify invasions. India's RSS, the Hindu nationalist organization with close links to the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, has put forward the idea of Akhand Bharat. The draconian policies enacted by Modi's government have increasingly reflected this desired political ideology. The Indian politicians are indulging in rhetoric against other countries merely to further their divisive and parochial political agenda. Installation of a mural at the new Parliament building in New Delhi depicts so-called ancient India, including areas that now constitute parts of Pakistan and other countries. The idea of Akhand Bharat also shapes the current Indian government's relationship with its neighbours. August 5 unilateral measures are inspired by this ideology, and New Delhi is using gerrymandering to politically nurture the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir's Muslim majority. Pakistan has expressed grave concern over the idea of Akhand Bharat, Greater India, which is being increasingly peddled by ruling Indian dispensation. The gratuitous assertion of Akhand Bharat is a manifestation of a revisionist and expansionist mindset that seeks to subjugate the identity and culture of not only India's neighbouring countries but also its own religious minorities.
Dr. Asma Shakir Khaja, who is the Executive Director of the CISS in the Jammu and Kashmir region, joins us online. Dr. Saiba, thank you very much to have joined us. Dr. Saiba, this mural is just one of the many examples of this so-called demented ideology of the BJP concerning the Akhand Bharat, or Greater India. Do you feel that slowly and steadily the BJP is getting into a zone from where there will be no return politically or diplomatically or philosophically speaking?
Definitely, BJP and Modi since 2014 have converted India into a hardcore Hindu Rashtra, and all these dreams of Akhand Bharat, sadly, they are based on some fairy tales, and those fairy tales have become their identity of India or BJP right now. Unfortunately, this idea of Akhand Bharat actually is a electoral dividend for BJP and or paying very well to BJP, and BJP is able to secure the votes of Hindu radicals in order to create such Akhand Bharat. And if
But you
we,
know,
if
Dr. Saiba,
and
this
if
said, you
at
say that
some point
they
of
are converting the radicals, but at the same time they have lost the elections in Karnataka, and you know that as well. Do you feel this is
that
also a
is, yeah.
diversionary tactic? You know, creating murals depicting parts of countries that are no longer part of India, and of course going on with this narrative that you are explaining as far as BJP's ideology and the RSS ideology. Is this also a diversionary tactic? Do you feel the BJP is losing politically in India because of this narrative?
Actually, we should not have high hopes with BJP losing elections in Karnataka. There were certain other reasons. First of all, governance and economics, which played its role in BJP's loss. But definitely, we all know that BJP's governance, BJP's electoral manifesto, all are based on propaganda, and all what is Modi is best in propagating false narratives and false shining points. So this mural in Indian Parliament definitely is an example, or is a way to again to give false dreams to Indian or Hindu people, that this is the ultimate aim, and or this parliament would be the ultimate destination of whole South Asia. And this is such a false, incorrect. If we see the history, if anyone with the slightest knowledge of the history of subcontinent knows that how false that narrative, that discourse of Akhand Bharat is. And practically, this idea of BJP of Akhand Bharat has become a Akhand Bharat for the whole South Asia region, because it manifests that currently Indian government does not respect the sovereignty and integrity of the neighboring states. And if for a slightest second we believe or we think that BJP, this idea has some logic, then we all know that across throughout the history, the human migration is the basic cornerstone in developing today's civilization. It was the reason that what we are today, that was because of that. We all know Germany was, every country had different maps and territorial design, territorial identities, but they are not the same in today's contemporary world.
Exactly, and they
And
have, you
how
know,
can
updated them,
someone
and they are not, you
use
know,
this?
latching on to those centuries old or even decades old, you know, maps in which, you know, countries that are no longer, or areas of countries that are no longer part of their country are still being highlighted. This is only just the case in India, and this
Yeah,
ideology. Do you also feel that the way that it is contorting historical facts
exactly.
or geographical facts is also pointing, maybe directly or indirectly, at some kind of invasion in neighboring countries in the future, or maybe justification of such invasion if it does happen in the future, or if they want to do some kind of an operation in neighboring states? Do you feel they might justify it by the fact saying, oh, you know, this is part of Greater India or Akhand Bharat?
We all know that in South Asia, India is the only country which is expanding since day one. So definitely to cover up the expansionist designs of India, that Khand Bharat can be an idea to justify or legitimize those ideas. And but we all know that it was only during 2000 it was united. South Asia was united. Otherwise, throughout the like 3,000 years before Christ, if we start the history from that point, South Asia was divided into kingdoms, into tribe. It's a tribal society, and there was not a single time in the history when a Hindu ruler ruled whole South Asia at one point of time. The largest Hindu kingdom was of Prithviraj Chauhan, and which was only contained in Punjab, Kashmir, and this UP and Bihar. So it was not even the complete India. So definitely, someone needs to prick this bubble created by and as you said yesterday, I was reading an article that in the name of revising the school curriculum of India, BJP government is deleting the various subjects or chapters which are related to democracy, equality, Mughal rule, development, peace. All those chapters have been deleted from the Indian school curriculum. So what was the aim? Aim is to create an information or knowledge bubble and then refill that bubble with those false discourse which suits or which are compatible with the electoral manifesto of BJP. And
I
this is
totally
how
agree with you on that, and I think they are going to move their whole political agenda for the elections next year on the very basis of this greater Indian ideology or Akhand Bharat ideology. Now, you know, Pakistan has objected to the mural. Our Foreign Office spokesperson talked about it in detail. Nepal has objected to this mural. Can regional countries ignore this dangerous Indian delusion, or should I say, or allegation, or should I say, narrative, philosophy, ideology? Till what time can other nations ignore such delusions from the Indian side?
not for a single second. No regional. How can a regional country can ignore that? If a state manifests its designs or ambitions to undermine the sovereignty and integrity of those regional states, and as you said, Nepal has objected. When Nepalese prime minister once stated that Hindu god, sorry, Mr. Ram was a Nepali, did India digested that statement? They on every level, India India rejected that statement. So how can Nepal even accept that if a country says that Nepal should be part of this greater India idea? It is the time in international community, international law, UNO, no one supports that argument. Otherwise, Pakistan can also propagate those stupid ideas that okay, we are the claiming anyone's territory is not a difficult task. Anyone, Iran can claim whole South Asia. Today, Turkey can claim whole South Asia because they ruled this region for 1,000 years. So, does that, or if that claim is legitimate? No. So, it is the time, and I am very pessimistic that if BJP realizes, because when we see the recent history, BJP always prioritized domestic electoral victory over any other sensible thing. And this nonsense, this is what is being sold, with what is being marketed by the BJP leaders, as RSS leaders, and how they can reverse all those things which they think would be the electoral dividend for them. So BJP definitely politically is in a problem. I would not use the term crisis, but definitely it is in a problem because the increased popularity of Congress is definitely they would be considering as threat, because Modi had idea that for the third time he would come with the larger vote bank, with the larger seats, but apparently according to different estimations, maybe it would not be the case. So all those complexities, Modi or BJP leaders think that they would be resolved through inaugurating that mural in New Indian Parliament building.
Oh, no, that is just one part of it. But you know, let's talk about this greater India, this Akhand Bharat, that as per the Hindutva ideology of the BJP says that it includes countries like Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Pakistan, Maldives, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and that they estimate that they will become part of India. This RSS ideology, and on the other hand, we have also the Amit Shah, who says that after 5th of August 2019, now he wants to make Chin also part of India as well, something that an area that is already contested. All of this combined, when you also see that India is heading the G20 and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, is this any kind of responsible attitude from a country that calls itself pluralistic, democratic, and a huge economy of the region, or the biggest economy of the region? What's your take on that? Don't you feel that they are endangering regional peace, and on the other hand they are heading international organizations like the G20 and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization?
I suggest that all regional countries should write letters to all those organizations and UNO and all other international organizations registering their concerns, their insecurities regarding this manifestation of the idea of Akhand Bharat. This would be the right way to address it, and all those organizations where India is the president or heading or leading those organizations, it is the time to tell them that India being their president would cost those organizations their credibility and their status in international politics. So it is time to refrain from doing this because a country which has expansionist designs, not only like implicitly but explicitly manifesting them, deserve it, and definitely all countries should, I think, go to UNO and register their complaints there regarding this act of India, because we need to,
and take India to task with this revisionist policy that it is going on with. Akhand Bharat is just one part of that revisionist policy that India is going on with since the BJP took power, and I don't know where all of this will go, and how far with this will this current government go, just for gaining more votes or gaining more ground politically in the coming months and years. And there's a lot of danger, on the regional side and on different sides as well, on the for the economy, for regional peace and stability, that all the countries, as you yourself have said, including those countries that are part of the global north, need to bring India to task and make it understand this is not the way to go. What's your take on that? Last question. This is the last question. I want a short answer, Dr. Saiba.
My take is that if India would continue questioning and challenging and threatening the sovereignty, integrity, identity of regional states, it would be soon India would become a Akhand Bharat for the region, because that is creating problems for the neighboring states. And it is Indian behavior that the only regional organization, SARC, is ineffective. So you rightly pointed out India, a revisionist state, which is trying to revise the international regional orders so that the balance of power can be tilted in India's favor. And that is how India wants to revise all those existing norms and regulation. And it is the duty of international community, international organizations, to see that how this revisionist state can be a threat for regional and international peace. And here I would like to mention that the radical extremist elements or different organization, terrorist organization, they also call themselves as revisionist entities because they believe that international order is not favoring them or accommodating them. That is why they want to revise it. And now today, the so-called a state with a large population is standing in the line of being a revisionist one. So it is the duty, it is the conscience of international community to
that is a duty. It is part of the conscious nature of all these organizations, that they need to make India understand that whatever it is doing is not only not in the, for the good of the region, but also not for India itself. With all the, it will, if India continues in the same way, there are going to be different movements that are going to gain momentum, and India will itself implode, as many other, heads of international organizations have already warned India about this whole, implosion that might take place if India continues with such policies. Thank you so very much, Dr. Asma Shakir Khaja, Executive Director, CISS, Azad Jammu and Kashmir, to have joined us, to have talked to us about this whole misguided concept, should I say, of Greater India or Akhand Bharat that India is propagating under the Modi regime.